Hey yo, it's me, the one AJ.
And it's Big Tone in the zone.
That's right, guys. It's 2/5 of them boys representing the Ministry of Wrestling. So you know what that means? We're here, and the intro gave it all away. We are here to review another show because you know what? We go to a show, we review a show. This one's a funny one because Big Tone and I happen to have gone to a Progress show one day, and the show had finished, and we said, you know what? We're jumping on the Northern Line, and we're going to see what this other company's about. And we caught the tail end of it. But that was that. And this time we made sure we went to the entire show. Yes, guys, we were talking about Elite Wrestling Entertainment, also known as EWE. And this was their show, Aftermath. Had a good time. I did have a good time down there. So, yeah, quite a bit to say about this show.
Yeah, man. Like, again, our little indie adventures, we've gone so many different, like, trails, man. We experienced so many different venues, and this is a very interesting one as well. But literally, like in a pub, yeah, and like in a function room in a pub, you wouldn't even know it's there, like unless you actually know. And what can I say about the show? But it was excellent, man, especially for the amount of money that you pay.
Yeah, like, and you know what? As you said about adventures and it being in the pub and this little function room, I remember the first time, and it happened to Leon, who was also with us for this time. You walk into the pub, and it's like a soundproof room because you have no idea what is going on. You pull open this door, and you're just in a wrestling ring and arena. It's like, whoa, okay, this is mad. So, props to EWE for keep doing their thing. So the show started off with the entourage making their way out. But before that, well, before they made their way out, there was a member of the entourage, and I'm not too familiar with EWE, guys. So if you are a EWE faithful, do feel free to comment below. But we were introduced to the special guest GM for the day, and Big Tone and I have both agreed that this man was the star of the show, like 100%. William Alexander Moore was your guest GM for the day, and he is there with the entourage. And there's a bit of a conversation. This is just before Big Tone turned up, and currently William Alexander Moore and Lewis Basham are the EWE Tag Team Champions, but there was a bit of a face-off that's happened between them because Alexander Moore wants a shot at the EWE title. So there was a big stare down, and there's a bit of heat in the entourage camp, and so much so that they threw his tag team title in the bin. But we will get into that a bit later on because the war goes on deep between these two. Right. Okay. So now we kick off into match one. And I enjoyed both of these characters, actually. And that match was Steve Valentino versus Big Wavy Roy Johnson. And I'm not knocking EWE when I say this. I say this with all promotions. It's always hard when you've got two faces against each other, especially when they open the match, because you never know which way you want to go, who you want to cheer for. Both guys had the crowd going, and yeah, it was a bit of fun. Did you make it in time for this match, Tone? I can't remember.
Yeah, I was there for this one.
Yeah,
like it was a good little opener, a good match to get like the crowd's blood pumping, and like Valentino is an interesting character. This whole little pirate shit. Quite a few of these indie wrestlers love this whole Jack Sparrow thing, don't they? And like he had it down well, pretty much as well. And of course, man, you got our guy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson, doing his thing. No respect and love to that guy, man. Like and yeah, as always, he does lots to part, comes out there, smashes people. But unfortunately, though, it wasn't his night. It wasn't his night, was it?
This is the one. And you know what? What's funny about it is that was that test of strength at the beginning. Steve Valentino's trying, and like Roy's just built like a house, man. And this guy's running into a house. So you think it looks like it was Roy's night, but you know what? Steve won it. So congratulations to him, and Big Wavy, keep doing your thing. Keep making those big waves as you do. Right. This was the entourage comprised of Cuban Heat and the mathematician Fentos versus Project Mayhem. Now, as you may or may not be familiar with, Project Mayhem were the former EWE Tag Team Champions. And now William Alexander Moore said, hey, this match here, let's make it more interesting and let's make it a number one contenders match. Obviously, trying to keep it all in-house within the entourage. I enjoyed this match. I had a lot of fun with this match.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match quite a bit, actually. And to be honest, another standout of the night was the mathematician, man. The guy looks the part. He's got the gimmick down as well. Like, yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites through the night. The Cuban, he was good as well, man. Some of like the things that the crowd was chanting, though, man. Hilarious stuff.
Yeah, you got to be in an EW arena to keep it there. But no, Project Mayhem, I like their shtick as well, man. I didn't realize that Project Mayhem are affiliated to Roth till later on, but we'll get into that a bit later on when we get there. But no, a lot of fun in this match, and ultimately, contrary to what the Entourage or William Alexander Moore wanted, Project Mayhem actually won the match and are now your new #1 contenders for the EWE Tag Team titles. Is it 2-time? Is it 3-time? I don't know, but hopefully we will be seeing gold around those guys one more time. This, guys, was definitely an Entourage night because I'm not too sure why, but Buff Broadside is currently the whipping boy for the Entourage, and they were trying to make an example of him in this match as well, because it was Buff Broadside versus none other than Jay Morgans. And again, it was one of these matches where it was out for humiliation. Out to humiliate Buff Broadside. Yeah. So, as much as they did try to get the upper hand on this one, Buff Broadside actually won via submission. If you remember this match, Tone.
Yeah, man. Like, you know what? I think Buff actually had the biggest entrance of the night, man. Like, he had like glowing lights. What else? Yeah, balloons or something.
The popping confetti, which made me jump out of my seat.
Yeah. That was it. And I was thinking, wow, man, this guy must be a star. I don't know if this is he is like, you know, a veteran or something, and they're just showing the ultimate respect to him or not. But like, either way, I bought into the stick, I bought into the gimmick, and I was very like interested in him from the get-go as well. Yeah. I mean, this guy is already a big guy as well. So when you see him in the ring, in it, you take notice. And it was a quite hilarious because that GM, man, like that guy is great, man. He can talk, man. And the humiliation rituals that he was going through for poor Buff, man, was something else. But like it was a good match. It had the result that made everyone feel warm and tingly on the inside. But unfortunately, it wouldn't end well for poor Buff.
Yeah, you're right. So the rest of the Entourage came out. They started to attack, and the beatdown ensued. They also like put a chair to his ankle. Cuban Heat was not so much in favor of it, but they put him in his corner and they went for it. But however, former EWE champion Arcadius came out and he cleaned house, and I'm talking cleaned house. So much so that there was a point where he was warned. Do not make this attack or you will be fired. That's what the GM told him. He didn't give a damn. He made the attack. He done what he had to do. And yeah, so it looks like Arcadius might be on the suspension list or the fired list. And yeah, that's when we went off to an interval because they needed to clean up the mess that happened there.
Yeah, exactly. All confetti and everywhere. They had to get the brooms out.
Right, so we returned from the interval and it was a case of man meat versus man meat as we had two big men taking on each other in the shape of Kurt Atlas taking on the favorite demon of EWE, Damien. The first thing that comes to my mind every time I think of this match, I'm not going to say what the fans were saying because I believe that is instant demonetization, but Kurt Atlas was called a lot of stuff that I would not want to be called at the moment. It's just involving a certain rapper and baby oil. But we weren't going.
Well, you know what? For code, we can just call him Johnson and Johnson.
Indeed, but yeah. Despite that, both of these guys. So I've seen Damien before. We've seen Damien before down in Sovereign Pro Wrestling, but this was this Sovereign Championship Wrestling actually. Yeah, down in the good old South London church there. But this was an interesting match. First time seeing Kurt Atlas, and these guys gave it to each other, man. They didn't hold anything back.
Yeah, 100 again. Like, you know, was that classic big man versus big man, meat slapping meat, like type of scenario that you got here. Yeah, I seen Damien again for the second time. He was doing his thing. Yeah, but again, it just wasn't his night, man. And actually, this result actually surprised me more than any other, like on the entire card, because I wasn't really expecting Kurt to get it like that, but he did.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a big one. So big stuff to look out for for both of these guys. I think that was also Kurt's debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that his debut?
I think it was for EWE at least, anyway. So he made a name for himself. Whether it was his first match or second match. He's quite new to the EWE scene. Right. Okay, Big Tone. The graphic I have is what was made for EWE pre James Alexander Moore. And at the time, it was this. It was Theodore Powers versus Don Fury. And I believe it was a #1 contendership for the EWE Light Heavyweight Championship. So, you know what? It was only fair that we got a special guest ref in the name of Yaya, who is the current EWE champion. Yaya, funny enough, we met our first time down at EWE when he won the #1 contendership. So it was nice to see that he actually went on to win the title. Actually, he won a Battle Royal, which was a title of any with a title match of his choosing, and obviously this is where he's at. However, Don Fury versus Theodore Powers is not where it ended, because thanks to James Alexander Moore, not only did he add Yaya as a special guest ref, he added Leapfrog, and he added Ricardo Borg for into this match, and it was a one win takes all. Now, Ricardo Borg has switched it up a lot since we saw him at EWE, and a lot since you saw him down at Hustle. Yes, he still has love for ducks, but it's taken a whole different twist.
Yeah, man, it's sort of like some dark duck fever trip going on here, man. Like he's now I don't know, evil duck or something, man. Like his DuckTales ain't going too well, to be honest, at the moment, is it?
No. But he's still promoting again, power.
Yeah, like it's for the best though. This gimmick, like it seems to really lend well to what he's trying to do now with his character, the darker side, the shenanigans that he's pulling off as a heel now. It's good to see, and it's good to see like the creativity. If someone feels that their stick is getting a bit long in the tooth, that they switch it up and like present it in a way that's new and exciting to everyone.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the switch up in the gimmick, the evolution of the gimmick, because he's still down with the Ducks. He's still down with the Ducks, just in a complete different way. This match was really, really good. It went it went around ringside. I would say it went all around the whole stadium, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. But everyone was in the ring, out the ring. At one point, we did have a duck versus a frog, but we won't get into that. Yeah, but there was a lot of fun with this, and ultimately, it seems that the gimmick switch worked because Ricardo Borg ended up getting the pin and is now your new #1 contender to the light heavyweight title. So congratulations to you, sir.
Can I just give a shout out to Theodore though, because again, like if we're talking about my MVPs of the night, Theodore's definitely one of them, man. His gimmick, his heel work is just off the charts, man. He was the most engaging person in that match, even if not the most skillful. He was the one who I kind of like was rooting for, but he did get the job done this time. But he's definitely a person to watch.
Oh yes, indeed. Do you know what? In honesty, when I look back at that match, you give him props, and I'm not knocking what you said. I can't think of anyone who wasn't impressive, because Don Fury done his bit. Leapfrog was really impressive. All of them were.
Yeah. No, you're right. To be honest, everyone had great moments in that match, and everyone was quite impressive. Yeah, because I'm thinking about Don is a mastodon. He's just big. Yeah, and like again, he's doing his thing, and it looked great, man. And Leapfrog, of course, man, just all over the ring and everything, man. Like, there's not much like you can argue with.
Nah, for sure. So props to those guys. Now, guys, this has been my new thing recently. Well, I have to dry my throat, and I bring it in because now, guys, it's time for the main event. Yes, guys, we saw him at the top of the show, Lewis Basham, talking all his trash, doing all he does, but it seems that Lewis Basham is holding 2 titles. One half of the tag team champions and the current EWE champion. And he took on a favorite of the Ministry of Wrestling. Yes, the current open weight EWE champion, Alexander Roth. Yes, guys, the EWE title was on the line as Lewis Basham took on Alexander Roth. and you could feel it. You could feel it in the room how much people wanted Alexander Ruff to win this, how much they want the entourage to drop that gold. And obviously, our GM of the night did not disappoint once again, because he said this match was no DQ, falls count. No, was it falls count anyway? I can't remember if it was falls count anywhere, but it was definitely no count out, and it was definitely no DQ. And this match, we talked about the previous match going just around the ring, this match went all over the damn pub. Well, I didn't leave the pub, but that hired room, up the stairs, down the stairs, round the stairs, absolutely everywhere. Loved it.
Yeah, man. Like, I probably have to say this was the match of the night. If not for the Fatal 4-Way, one of the two of those, I would say, is the match of the night, because this was crazy, man. And Ruff just shows why he's excellent. Like, in the ring, every time he gets in there and does his thing. And yeah, the people were solidly behind him. And like, yeah, man, I was disappointed when he didn't pull off the victory. However, though, like the match, you cannot be disappointed in at all, man. Both men like put in tremendous work. Like there was a moment that when they went upstairs, you could see them, so we had to politely ask them to get that back down the stairs, which they obliged, man. But like, if you were up there in like, I guess that's the nosebleeds in that venue, isn't it?
Well, do you know what? It's free seating. It's got the seating, but yeah, like it's a mad one. But it's a nice balcony view, yeah.
Yeah, man. If it was up there, it'd be cool to see them just brawl right in front of you. Like where we was by ringside, we seen people brawl in front of us all night, man. People leaving like wet floor signs next to us. Yeah. So many like funny shenanigans, but honestly, man, Ruff, that guy's a star, man.
He is. And we'll also just have to highlight, if you thought Lewis Basham had the entourage to back him to try and take out Ruff, Alexander Ruff had his backup too, because Project Mayhem came out. Big Wavy came out and slapped on the old 8-7 armband, but sadly it wasn't enough, and Lewis Basham is still your champion. Now, guys, I would like to just say that EWE, I'm happy we got to do a full show. I'm really happy we got to do a full show, and I would encourage anyone to go give it a shot. If you're in the Balham area, or if you're like the ministry and you like to travel, give it a shot. So, Big Tone, this Sunday, 27th of November, which is a busy day for wrestling. If you're a UK wrestling fan, you're familiar that there's a few shows out there. This is EWE, so I'm not going to mention the other shows darted around the UK. However, what I will say, so EWE have a very interesting stipulation going on. Being Halloween, they're all about the trick or treats and giving the fans a chance to get involved. So at EWE Requiem this Sunday, down in the Bedford, down in Balham, there will be where people get to pick their poison. The only match they can't pick is the main event. I'm sure it's going to be the main event, where the Entourage take on Project Mayhem for the tag team titles. That is the only match, because Lewis Basham said, no, you can't vote for these matches. However, guys, head on over to Facebook, because Big Tone checked these matches out. You're going to like this first match I'll show you, because one of our favorites are in here. Leapfrog will be taking on none other than Fabio Romano.
Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio's going to be down at the old EWE. And the picks are a kendo stick match, a trick or treat match, or a Falls Count Anywhere match. All you have to do is head on over to their page and you can vote for that one. Another match on the night will be Theodore Powers versus Don Fury in a rematch. However, the stipulations will be a wet floor side match, a strap match, or a no DQ match. Someone that we met down in in Eve, Claudia Bradstone, will be taking on Fentos, and the stipulations for that match will either be an over-the-top rope match, which will be very difficult for Claudia because Fentos is a flipping giant, a blindfold match, or a British rounds match. And I have no idea what a British rounds match are. Vote on Facebook and maybe you'll find out for yourselves, guys. Then we have Yaya versus Ricardo Borg for the the light heavyweight championship. Now, the stipulations can be a pumpkin on a pole match, a submission match, or a chairs match. Once again, guys, the choice is yours. And then finally,
I'll vote for the pumpkin on the pole. That sounds hilarious.
I've actually seen one. I will tell you about it shortly. And then finally, the other match that you get a chance for: Razor versus Kurt Atlas in a casket match, a singles match, or a Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, guys, as I said once again, just head on over to Elite Wrestling Entertainment Facebook page, and you will be able to put your vote down on all of those. I've got to be honest, with the Kurt Atlas match, I know we've seen 2 of them already, but I have never seen a casket match on the indie scene. That has got my intrigue like nobody's business. But there's some interesting matches out there. There are some interesting matches out there. Any other gimmicks you want to see out there, Tone?
Hey, look, like I said, the casket match would be very intriguing to me as well. So yeah, man, I guess you got to go on Facebook and vote.
That's the one. That's the one, guys. So, guys, there will be links to EWE down below. You will also be seeing the ministry down at EWE again in the future. It may not be this show. It may not be the next. Look, I'm not going to say that because it sounds like we're just dissing shows, but we have schedules and commitments to other places. But EWE is definitely a place to be if you are a fan of UK wrestling. Do click the links down below, which will give you all the information on EWE, all their socials. Also, below that will be all the information on these 2 guys who are 2/5 of them boys, the Ministry of Wrestling. And yeah, guys, so until the next time, all I can do is thank you. Please beg you to press the like button, comment, subscribe, and share it. Don't be afraid to share. Sharing is caring. And again, Big Tone, would you like to tell people how they can link up with us on the social networks?
Yeah, man, we're on all social media platforms. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. All at Ministry of Wrestling. Yeah, we're easy to find. Hit us up.
That's the one. Actually, X is MOW News, just so you, in case you don't find us on that one. But apart from that, it is Ministry of Wrestling. So until the next time, I'm the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And I'm Big Tone at Zone.
We out. See ya.